Hello and welcome back to Sarah's Country Cottage and Garden. So tonight it is Monday night. It's the night after I released my video for how to make a basket cover, and I then actually thought it'd be nice to make a little pumpkin to sit on top. So I've made this one here. Bear with me. Just by doing the same process as I have with these on top of the basket, I've made this little pumpkin. And I also I'm in the boot room because I like this pumpkin here. So this is just a faux plastic one and I wanted one similar. So I've made this one here out of felt too. So here are my pumpkins, our little boot room, now decorated for autumn. And the other week you might remember that I got these little bells from Tea Time Vintage with the little faces on for Halloween. So I think they look rather cute. And while at the same time, this is where I've displayed the garden marker that I put the new rope on. So next I'm excited to make a V-skep using some rope. I've got plenty of rope now that my parents brought over at the weekend. So I'm really thrilled to bits with that. So this is a little intro showing you what I have been felting. And if you fancy having a go at needle felting your own little pumpkin, stay tuned because I'm going to show you the process. Okay, so I'm just at my kitchen table, and in the video where I created this basket cover, at the end I showed you this blob of cream wool. It's the same cream wool as the pumpkins on the basket, and I'm going to make a little pumpkin, a little loose one, whether it sits in front of my basket or on the basket. I just thought it'd be nice to needle felt one to go with it. So basically I've got a ball of wool and I've already kind of started just pushing the bottom to give it a bit of a flat surface, bringing the wool together with my fingers, creating a dumpling effect, you know, like you would a dumpling, pulling it together. And as I pull it together, I'm just needle felting it and turning it round. There was a twist in it and it is showing there, but hopefully the more I needle felt it, the more I stab it with this needle, it will knit together and felt and start to become the shape of hopefully a pumpkin or maybe a bulb of garlic. So I just wanted to quickly show you how it goes. So I'm holding it in the middle. I've kind of gathered it all together, and probably in the end what I will do is actually push that down on the top, and I'll push it down and keep pushing it down, and the more you keep going, the more indentation, the more shape you'll give it, because once I've got this part right, how I want it to look, then I'll create a little stem to come out of it. Moving closer, I need to be a bit more there. Can you see it okay? So this side I think is going to be underneath. You can see it was a long swirly bit of wool because we've still got this swirly bit here. I might have to get some more to cover that, to smooth it over, because it might not look quite right. But this is going to be the bottom, so I want it to be quite flat so it sits nicely. This is going to be pushed in, and I've just got to keep going so that it knits together and firms into a nice felted shape. I don't want it too hard. I want this to be kind of lightly felted. But just so I know, just until I know it's holding together and will hold its shape. And I'll know that when it starts to look like one piece rather than little, you know, just rolled up in a ball type thing. So I probably will have to get some more wool. In fact, I'll do that now. I'll pause it, come back and show you. Okay, so this is the wool. And I'm going to tease off small sections of it. It should just pull apart like this. I want to pull it lots of pieces like you would see wool naturally, like that. Then what I will do is, that's my flat side, and then here you can see it's not, I bring that up, can you see it's like that bit. It's like I've squashed all that together and you can still see the shape of that. So what I need to do is get wool like this and go over it, because then it'll look better. And just push that in, push, and this needle felts it all together. And it does take time, but it can be very therapeutic, very relaxing. You can do it while you're listening to a podcast. I love crafting. Excuse my shabby jumper. It looks dreadful in this video, doesn't it? But I love crafting while I've got YouTube playing in the background. What do I love watching? Well, I know it's Friday, so I know I've got Pine and Prospect to look forward to. I think she tends to release a video on a Friday. She's American. She's a lovely girl with a lovely family. And oh, you can see there, I need to cover that bit. So let's put it down, get some more of this wool, and I'm just pulling it apart, teasing it out. So that I've got smooth sections of wool. Take the needle out to go over there where it's lumpy bumpy. So I'm going to put that over there and then knit it together with the barbed needle. So it's the barbs on the needle that knits the wool together as you push it in and pull it out. Quite amazing really, isn't it? And it does take a while, and if you've got a tool where it's got 5 or 10 of these needles, so you're doing 10 at a time, it does speed it up for you. I've never got around to ordering one of those. I just tend to use a single needle. I do like the single needle. It's because it's then that you need the single needle to act like your pencil, your pen, your paintbrush, to create the shapes, the definitions, because that's when you get your shape. And in this case, I want it to stop looking like a dumpling and look more like a pumpkin. But there's no point trying to get that pumpkin shape until I've got rid of all those bumpy swirls. I do need it to look like a nice smooth dumpling first, really. I'd like it to be hairy fairy. I don't really want it to be too solid. So you can tell it's natural wool because it's got a nice black fibre there. So I'm just going to take some more of this wool. Again, I'm teasing it apart. I mean, you might have a brush which you do this with, where you know, I've seen people use brushes and they brush the wool. But it's just that I've still got, I think that's the worst part there. So I'm going to put that over there and start dabbing again. Oh, now then, hang on, let's pull that back out. I can see a bit of, colour in that. Here, there's a bit of colour, which I don't particularly want. Let me just pull that to one side. I mean, it'd be my own fault because I do keep all the colours together. See, I can see there. There we are, let's pull that out. And if it happens to you, you can do the same. But it might also, a little bit of different colour. I mean, pumpkins, they're not all really one colour, are they? They are all naturally different shades. So it might add to it. So we've got a black. You might not be able to pick it up, but I can. I've got my extra strong glasses on. There's a black thread. I don't really want a black thread running through it, so we'll pick that one out. So hopefully that's now starting to look like a little dumpling. And then we need to start changing it. So it's really quite soft and hairy fairy. Okay, but it'll sit down nicely. I'm going to turn that now. I might need to clean this, to be honest. This is probably adding coloured fibres to it. I probably can get away with not using it. Let's just use a table. Looks pretty with this cloth, doesn't it? So that's our basic shape. It's sitting quite flat. Pumpkins are all different shapes, aren't they? So now what I want to do is make my indentation in the middle, which is where my stalk is going to go, the stem. But also if I indent there, it's going to puff it out more around the edges and start to give it more of a pumpkin shape. So I'm just going at it quite firm, and the more you do it, the greater the indentation will be, the greater the definition, the more you will start to see your shape. And then we're going to think of a pumpkin and its segments, just like I did on the basket, and creating segments. And you've got to go over it again and again and again to start seeing that definition. The more you go over it, the more you will see it. So I've not been over that near enough yet. I need to do that many more times, but it gives you an idea. It gives you an idea of how it works. And eventually, right now, you can kind of see the needle holes, but it'll all blend in. So let's just go in the opposite direction. And what I'll probably have to do is turn the video off and come back to you, because this could be like watching paint dry. But hopefully you're getting the gist. So we're going to keep pushing down in the middle, so we get our indentation where the pumpkin. So like here, we want to create this indentation, and then we'll, can you see this pumpkin I'm pointing at? Is it in the shot? I do hope you're all chuckling along with me as I do many faults and faux pas at filming. But we've got a pumpkin here, and we're trying to create these segments and create the indentation ready to start needle felting the stalk. So I'm gonna, because what I want to do, it's got these, like, how many segments would I have? I'm not going to get as many segments, I don't think, as a real pumpkin. I need to think. If I've gone fully across there, probably one. I might just get the 3 in. No, maybe there and then there. Yeah. Think of it like a cake. So you might be better going across, right across there, and then go right across there. Let's think of it like a cake, I think. We're not going to get as many as a natural pumpkin would probably have because, well, you could try, but I'm not. I'm going to think of it like a cake, and each side's going to have 4 segments. So the more you go over those lines, I say lines, that's what we're trying to clear, this indentation here. You can see I'm repeating myself, going over the same holes, I'm stabbing it in the same place every time to just create some definition. And the more I do it, the more defined it will become. And don't forget, you need to go all the way. But you can do that afterwards. Let's go down here. And underneath. And hopefully you can see there a little bit of how it works. Okay? I'm going to pause it. I'll come back. Right. So as you can see, I've been at it for a while. And all I'm doing is going over, stabbing, so that I've created the segments that you see in a pumpkin. It's Saturday night. The fire's lit. I don't know whether you can hear it. Let me just turn the camera around. Can you see the fire? The lamps are lit. I've got the big light, the big overhead. All the lights are on basically, so that hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So I've got my flat bottom and I've gone in, so hopefully it's a bit of a pumpkin shape underneath where it goes in a little bit. I keep going in the top like this, and then I just keep going over the segments so that we've got that pumpkin shape. But a pumpkin needs a stem. So basically I've just got this piece of wool. I've not done anything with it. And I'm just gonna fold it over actually. Fold it over, wisp it up, and hold it there with my fingers. And I'm gonna start just felting it, pushing it in and pushing it into the actual pumpkin base so it's attached. And what I'll do is I'll bring it up to where the corner of each segment, like you see in a real pumpkin. So this will be a little bit more fiddly to do for the fingers because I kind of want to felt this bit together. I might just kind of mould it and leave it wispy with my fingers. Let me pause that and see if I've actually done it in shot because I'm not watching the camera. I'm watching what I'm doing. Okay, I've turned the camera round. So hopefully I can see. I don't know which way is better to do it. I know a lot of people, what do they do when it looks like the camera's kind of in front of where the mouth is? How do they get that camera to be in place and actually see, like Rosanna makes, if you watch it, she does wonderful videos, she makes the most wonderful things, and you can always see what she's doing. I don't know what the trick is, but basically anyway, I'm just needling, because every time I punch that through, it's felting it to the base and securing this bit of wool to it. And then what I kind of need to do is, and you could maybe put a bit of foam against it, or just, but what I think I'm going to do, like I said, lick my fingers and just sculpt it, because I was growing squashes in the garden, and pumpkins are like, I haven't grown pumpkins before. Well, I grew some when the kids were little. Sorry, I know that's don't do as I do. Have a little leg cup and put your fingers like that, because basically I'm just trying to swirl it, twirl it round. So anyway, yes, we've been growing squashes thanks to the plants from my stepmom, and they get really curly stems, really coily. And it was actually Linda who watches the videos. She was growing some peppers, and she's been able to dry the stems off those. So I thought, I wonder if I can dry the squash. Anyway, there was part of it that was really curly and already looked quite dry. So I had that by the fire last night, and it's already dried out. So I'm hoping I can use that for a really tiny velvet pumpkin, because that's what I'd like to do. So basically, I'm just trying to see if I can secure more the stem at the bottom, and you can see there that bit needs felting together, and it'd be better. It's hard to do it in midair. I need to be able to hold it with my fingers, but if I hold it with my fingers, I can't really show you, but I kind of need to. No, that's working it. When it's, it's felting when you hear it. You hear the nettle against the wool. When you hear the metal of the needle against the wool. Put it against the mic. Is that picking it up? When you hear that noise, you know it's felting together. So now, as I put that in front of the camera, you can see it's not got that gap anymore. It is more together. I probably need to do a little bit more there. I can just about hear it knitting together. I'll just push it down at the bottom a bit more. And I just want to look myself and just see, does it look right at the base? I want it to look nice and neat at the base. I hope I'm not. Very difficult not to cover it with my hands or fingers. Push that and just try and needle felt it there. It's looking better. But yeah, there we go. So I'll probably play with that some more. I'm not quite happy with that. I need to play with it a bit more. But anyway, what I did also have when I was looking through my wool stash was years ago for Easter, I used to needle felt eggs. So you can buy the polystyrene eggs. I would cover them in felt and then do little designs on them, like one I did a blossom tree, and I probably did bunny rabbits underneath it and make a scene all the way around. Well, I had this last one that I'd done and covered in this wool, and I'm not inspired to do that anymore. I'm not really feeling the felted eggs. Well, it's autumn, I'm into pumpkins. So I pulled back the wool from the top and the bottom of the egg and sliced the bottom off and the top off, and then I've been trying to create a pumpkin shape with this. Now, because of the polystyrene, I mean, the polystyrene means I'm not using as much wool. I mean, to do a piece this big in wool is a lot of wool and a lot more money. So the polystyrene fills it out. And this is all this colour wool I've got left. It's not enough really to get the indentations that I want. It's difficult to create the segments because I've got the polystyrene there in the way. But I have a faux plastic pumpkin in our boot room, which is kind of, it's about 4 times bigger than this, but it's this kind of shape, and the segments aren't as visible and as clear as like the squat round ones. So I'm quite happy. I might carry on, keep playing and just have another go at the segments, but then I want to put a stem on top of this, and then I've got another little pumpkin. I hope you like my little pumpkins. So far these are little pieces of videos. I'm not sure if I'm going to put anything with it. I do still want to make my bee skeps, so I might include that or I might not. We'll see. Anyway, I'll see you soon. So I hope you've enjoyed the process and it's given you all some ideas and some inspiration to have a go yourself. It's something I find really therapeutic, something I really love enjoying to do, and just being imaginative and creative. And anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all the wonderful comments that you give me. I really love them and I really appreciate them, and it makes it all the worthwhile. So thanks again, and I shall see you next week. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.